Poker Nations Cup.
World's greatest poker players, natural loners, for once have put their instincts aside to gather in teams and establish which nation is truly the best. Britain's in the lead, most of Europe hot on their heels, but America, who gave poker to the world, are trailing in last place. Can pride be restored for the United States in the fourth heat of the PartyPoker Poker Nations Cup? Playing tonight for Great Britain, it's the captain, Dave Elliott.
The reason I've put myself in today is because it's a tough lineup. I might be the only one who can crack this lineup. Anyway, I'm going to do the business for Britain.
To make the selection for Holland, here's their captain, Marcel Lusk.
Rob Holding is playing today for the Dutch team, and I expect him to get far. He's very reliable, very solid player, makes a lot of moves on the right time.
To tell us who's playing for America tonight, here's the captain, Robert Williamson.
Today playing for Team USA is Cloney Gowan. She's a strong player, and I think her style will match up very well against the Devilfish, and we need the points.
In for Sweden, it's their online player, Hans Isos.
Hans Isos is our internet player. I hadn't met him before we got here, but we found out that he's very experienced online. He plays a lot of tables and pretty high stakes. So I felt confident that he would perform well for us.
Representing Germany, Roland Specht.
For heat number 4, I've chosen Roland Specht from Germany because he's a good friend of mine. We know each other for 10 years, and last year, after his great performance in the Poker Nations Cup, he's got the nickname Mr. Cool.
Choosing for Denmark, it's captain Theo Jørgensen.
This time around, I've picked Martin Valli to play. Once again, a very experienced live player, so unless he suddenly have to go to the bathroom, we'll be in very good shape.
6 national teams, 6 players on each team, 1 go each in the heats, and 1 brilliant co-commentator, Barney Boatman.
Where? Oh, me. Thanks, Vicky.
And of course, after Heat 3, Barney, Germany played themselves right back into the tournament, leaping from last place to 3rd.
It's Cloney Gowan, who we can see here, who's got the most difficult job today because she knows that with America languishing at the bottom, only a win or perhaps a second place will do.
This is where the Poker Nations Cup is such an incredible event because as much team spirit, poker is such a game for the solo individual.
Interesting pot developing here, Vicky. Rob Hollink, the only one with a pair, but there's an enormous amount of overcards out there.
But amazingly, the pair of 2s is still good.
Check.
Rob Hollink, of course, one of the greatest Dutch players. So many wins under his belt.
Yeah, including a fantastic Monte Carlo EPT victory. And still the deuces are good. But who's going to have a little go at this? Well, it's the master thief himself, Dave Elliott. He realises no one's got any of this. He sees that 6 as a blank. And the internet specialist, Isos, does he feel his ace-queen is in front? Does he also understand that 6 on the turn was a blank?
Can't be the follows straight away.
As he hurts Devilfish, the captain of the British team, wanting to set an example.
Maybe. Might be lying. You can lie, it's poker, right, Tom? Thank you. There's a lot of pressure on when you're captaining a team because I've only ever done it once before and I had to go on last man and do the business, and I don't find a lot of cards, so it's always hard work. But you know, we managed to get over the line last time, and hopefully this time will be the same result.
Then we didn't have 75.
All these players are here to accumulate points, which will be converted into chips for the final. 16 points available to the winner, just 1 point if you're the first knocked out.
More chips in the final? Okay, slower.
Pass.
Okay.
That small chip lead for Cloney Gowan, very, very big for her because it'll have settled any nerves she might have had. She plays with a great deal of confidence.
But a huge hand has been picked up by the British captain, Dave Devilfish Elliott. And with his reputation as a raiser, he's hoping to encounter disbelief.
Well, Rob Huntington's got the kind of hand that you want to call with position.
Pass.
Amazingly, Cloney Gowan has just passed the 5-6 of spades, which does take away a few of Hollink's outs.
2 players.
There's a lot of ways that Hollink can get into trouble here. And interestingly enough, Hollink's picked up a big draw.
Yes, I don't think Rob Hollink is going to go anywhere with an up and down straight draw. But if he tries to raise the fish,
700.
he'll be looking at a very expensive battle.
That's exactly what I expect him to do, Vicky. He didn't call with this kind of hand to not play it strong.
Call.
Well, he's just called. Quite a respectful flat call. He really wants to hit his hand, but this could slow them both down.
Check.
Yeah, because not only is it an overcard to the kings, it brings a flush as well. And
1,000.
Hollink representing the draw. Elliott won't like this, but it's very hard to put down a pair of kings. But it's a horrible, it's almost the worst card from Elliott's point of view. The worst card he could have seen.
Yeah, with 2 black kings, the ace of diamonds, an overcard which brings a straight and a flush is the stuff of nightmares.
He's not ready for these kings yet.
Can you shout a bit louder in the green room? I can't hear.
And here you see the captain appealing to his teammates if they shouted the decision so he could hear what to do.
That was about the worst card in the deck for my own body, so I might just have to fold this one. You've probably got a 9 or something. You're doing a move on
Well, I think that is actually
that was a pretty bad card.
a very disciplined fold, but I'm not sure about showing the kings.
No, Vicky. I mean, he feels he's been outdrawn, and it was very hard for him to carry on there. But Hollink read this situation perfectly and realised that card was very unlikely to be good for Elliott.
Yeah, it's possible that if Elliott had followed through and bet the turn, Hollink might have given it up, but I think he's showing great discipline at this early stage.
Pretty certain 2 kings was good there, but I'm playing for England, so I've got to be a bit careful.
Welcome back to the 4th heat of the PartyPoker Poker Nations Cup. $100,000 for the winning team, plus the Poker Nations Cup trophy. Cloney Gowan is being watched in the green room by her captain, Robert Williamson, all her teammates and a few school friends brought from home.
Pass.
And that moral support is standing her in good stead. She's playing a good, strong game.
Yeah, a raise from under the gun with this hand shows exactly what her intentions are.
Pass.
And Vallow with the pair of 7s only calling behind that early position raise, and that's not surprising.
What we see here is the 2 countries at the bottom of the points leaderboard. Both of them will have been begged by their captains to bring home the bacon. And Martin Vallow of Denmark is in front with a pair of 7s.
But Cloney Gowan has made a flush.
Interesting that there wasn't a continuation bet from Gowan on the flop. Nicely disguised her hand, and Vallow is raising.
This is bad news for Vallow.
Raise to 12.
Gowan may have been trap checking on the flop, but by checking the flop herself, she's induced this play, and she must be dancing inside, Vicky.
Well, Gowan taking her time, working out whether she'll get paid more if she raises or just calls.
Well, she's thinking maybe she's up against a bare ace. I think the raise here is the right play, Vicky.
Martin Vallow of Denmark, of course, has only 2,800 chips left.
Raise. Raised to 3,450.
So if she raises, she is likely to be setting him in, pretty much doing that.
Well, if she checked, she could have given him a chance to hang himself, but she didn't know how weak his hand was. I mean, he does have a gut shot draw. He thinks he may have a flush draw, but I don't think he's got enough. I think he knows now that he's in terrible, terrible shape.
I think Gowan was really hoping that Valo had made two pair or even a straight, but his hand was a little too weak to call for all his remaining chips. Nevertheless, very nice pot for the United States and a good strong chip lead that will be delighting the captain.
I think one of my main strengths that I have is that I am interested in people and their behaviors and stuff. So I'm a very good listener and I pick up on patterns very well. And I'm disciplined. I don't, like some of the guys, they have lots of testosterone. I don't tilt. I just go on to the next hand regardless of what happens. And so, I don't tilt. I think that's probably one of my greatest things, yeah.
How do you play this game? Here's Barney.
Each player receives 2 cards face down from the dealer. The 2 players to the immediate left of the dealer post 2 compulsory bets, which are known as the blinds. Play then proceeds in a clockwise direction, with each player having to make a betting decision. They can call, match the current bet, or raise, put more money into the pot, or they can fold, throw their cards away. Once this round of betting is over, the dealer reveals the flop, 3 community cards dealt in the middle of the table. More betting follows. Then comes a 4th card, the turn card, and a 5th card, known as the river. Players must make the best 5-card poker hand using the 7 cards available. Once the betting is over, the players reveal their cards, and the player with the best hand wins the pot.
America and Denmark, the countries at the bottom of the overall leaderboard, are in opposite positions in this particular game. America at the top, Denmark at the bottom.
Yes, hello.
So we want more wine?
No, we don't.
I imagine if you put the faces of team captains Robert Williamson and Theo Jurgensen side by side right now, they look like comedy and tragedy masks.
Water, please. No, I have water.
The yellow chips are 25, green 100, and blue 500. Rob Hollink has found a pretty nice hand in an unraised pot.
Raised to 575.
One of the most aggressive players in the world is Rob Hollink, a great tournament player, a great chip getter. Gowan's got position. She's going to have a look, Vicky.
She actually seems to be thinking whether to re-raise.
Cool.
Now, she just called, and she does have the best hand, but she wants to have a look at the flop.
Will she know where she is if she hits an ace? I think she will. But
Oh, goodness me. It is a flop of danger because there is a flush and straight draw for Rob Hollink, but a pair for Cloney Gowan, who's actually in front. How can she know it?
Well, Hollink's going to like this flop a lot more than Cloney Gowan is, Vicky.
Which hand would you rather have here, Barney?
I'd rather have Rob Hollink's hand every time.
And yet he's checked it. Could it be a sneaky check and raise?
We're certainly disguising his hand, and Gowan, although she's in front, has got more of a scared hand than Hollink.
Bet 750.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if Hollink put a raise in here.
I'd be very surprised if he didn't. He knows that he can pressure Cloney Gowan because Cloney Gowan's so desperate for points here.
I'm all in.
All
Raises
in?
all in.
Yep.
Now that is a move and a half.
Well, this will take this one away, and you can't blame Gowan for having a pop on the flop.
The thing is, though, with the draw that Hollink's got, he's actually favourite, even though he isn't winning. I don't think she is going to call, but she's showing she's not to be pushed around too lightly.
Yeah, but it's far, far too difficult a call to make. I would have been absolutely amazed if she called that, Vicky.
I would, and you've got to factor in, Barney, that she knows her American teammates are watching. She knows how crucial the points are. With her own money, she might have thought, what the hell, I'm going to keep him honest. But the risk of ending up going out in first place, only one more point for America, that's got to put the extra pressure on to make the pass. Martin Vallo of Denmark still at the bottom of the chip leaderboard. He's gone below 2,000 in chips now, which means any pre-flop re-raise from him is all in.
I'm struggling. You don't have to win every battle. You can pick at me, no problem. Right? You don't have to win every battle, just the war, right?
And Rob Hollink of Holland showing great confidence at the table. Always seems to know where he is.
Well, that's plenty in a short-handed game. You've seen him raise with a lot less than that.
Ooh. Here's a big hand for Hans Isos of Sweden.
Re-raise, 1,500. Re-raise to 1,500.
Can I hear a siren?
I don't think Holland is going to think long before throwing his ace-jack away against this player, Vicky.
But look at this, waiting behind. 2 queens for Roland Specht, and difficult because the Swedish player has been so solid throughout. This is his first re-raise. Specht's got to fear an even bigger hand than queens.
All in. Re-raise, all in.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is very brave.
Wow, look at this kill. Unbelievable. What can I find here, you know? 2 black aces.
Better not even look.
2 black aces. Two aces for a tie.
Pass.
I need 25 back, yeah?
Absolutely.
Not if you go to the bathroom.
Oh, sorry. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is, what is Isos to do with this? He knows he's behind, but he knows a 50-50 is a possibility, and Specht has put all his chips into the middle.
Isos has already put 1,500 into this pot, and I think that'll be the deciding factor, Vicky. Although there's no hand that he wants to see that Specht is going to turn over. I mean, Specht cannot have ace-queen. He's either got a pair or the same hand as Isos, minimum, and Isos is hoping for queens here if he makes the call.
Yeah, I mean, if Isos calls and loses, he'd still have about 500 points left, but it's nothing to speak of. And he's got to think through. He himself has a tight image. He's re-raised. Specht knows that. Hollink was behind. The German is not going to put in his third raise without a very big hand.
Well, this is exactly what Isos is hoping to find Specht with, a pair of queens. But there's too many chips in there.
I wish I would have 2 kings.
Well, this is a huge race. Of Sweden left with 500. Specht all in.
All in hand, pocket queens.
An ace
Germany.
or king would knock
Sweden,
out
ace, king.
Germany.
Let's see the first card. Top comes 5,
That
8,
is
deuce.
safe,
Got
and
queens
Germany,
in the lead.
who were so grateful for the comeback they made in the third heat, couldn't bear to go out
Nine,
first
no
again.
change.
No ace, no
Flip a
king,
card.
praised the German captain Michael Kainer.
Yes,
And it's 3 queens. Fantastic double up for Germany, but leaving Sweden with only $500.
Well, that's very unfortunate for Isos, who was very, very patient early on, waited for a big hand and got absolutely caught there. I think he made the right call, having put in 1,500 chips, and then it was just a coin flip. Great relief for Germany, who could have lost perhaps their strongest player, but now he's at the top of the chip table.
Last year, I came here first time. I didn't expect that so many people will watch this event at TV at home, on the street, at the bank, hairdresser, everything. Everybody was talking to you. Have you seen this? I saw you on TV. I never expected that so many people at home will watch this. So maybe now you know that the second time they also will see it in TV, and maybe it's a little bit more pressure.
You know,
All 6 players remaining in this heat of the PartyPoker Nations Cup.
Okay. Last red wine. Yeah, 2. She just okay.
Hans Isos of Sweden is really going to have to set himself all in one of the next couple of hands. He can't afford to let the blinds go through him.
I'll do 2 of red wine.
all right. That's fair enough.
If Isos finds a half a hand, I think he has to stick them in. Yeah, it's good enough.
Balls is still.
Good luck.
You would have given a long, long price on Isos being the first one out in this heat. The tightest player at the table.
Pass. Pass.
If anybody calls him, he's going to be in danger.
500. He's a nice kid. I might double him up.
475.
475.
No, it's 500. Excuse me, I couldn't see.
I might have doubled you up if it was 475. Guess Rob's gonna do the business.
Rob Hollink will make the call. And it's another 50-50 for Isos. Once again, he's got 2 overcards to a pair. He's got to hope he gets luckier this time.
Yeah, he deserves a bit of luck.
You don't care about that.
You have to feel for Hans Isos, the online player, up alongside the greatest of Sweden's professional live players.
Queen deuce with 3 spades. We have 3s in the lead.
He so desperately wants to do well among them, but he needs an ace or a 6 to stay alive.
Let's see the river card.
That is no help. 10s and 2s with an ace for Sweden, but 10s and 3s for Holland, and poor Hans Isos is back in the green room with the professionals much sooner than he hoped to be.
Most unfortunate, he came in with a game plan to play very cautiously, but he found a big, big hand and it cost him everything.
Perhaps I shouldn't have raised Rob that much, but they were playing quite tight behind me, and I thought, okay, if I exclude everybody else, I think I can take up the pot immediately, and unfortunately that was not the case.
Blinds are up to 100, 200. And we are 5-handed. 2 points available to the next team who gets knocked out. And the amazing thing is, with Sweden's exit, even if the next team out is Great Britain, GB will still be at the top of the leaderboard. Dave Olliott, however, always confident as long as he's at the table. And he is truly one of the world's great tournament players.
Well, he's getting his raises in before Hollink, but Hollink's calling him a position and a dominating hand.
Oh, I could say something to that, but I'm not going to say a word.
Pass.
It's unusual for you, baby. Come on, 200, get in here. What's the matter with you? Don't even look. Don't even look at him.
I like to play, but I like to see you play heads up. I like more to see you play heads up.
Oh.
Take one.
Price was right, huh?
3 players. Check.
And that is terrible news for Dave Olliott, isn't it, Vicky?
Well, it's horrible. He and Hollink have both made top pair, but with the ace kicker, the Dutchman is well in front.
Dave Olliott could put Hollink on a flush draw. Well,
it's interesting.
Pass.
Hollink is just calling. What's his plan here, do you think?
2 players.
well, he's got position. He wants to see if Olliott's going to slow down.
200 more expensive.
Olliott still likes his 10.
All your wishes fulfilled. Huh? If you played with 3-4, you've got me.
Olliott's made a big bet, 1,500, leaving himself with only just over 2,500 more. Hollink could set him in here. I don't think he can flat call and wait for another bet. He's got to set him in or give it up.
It's decision time here for Rob Hollink. Dave Olliott's raised from first. He's not afraid of that call. He's carrying on betting. But Hollink has completely disguised his hand. But in only calling, he hasn't really found out where he stands against Dave Olliott.
No, that's right. Dave Olliott is a regular raiser, very aggressive, but it's not illegal for him to have an overpair.
Rob Hollink tends to play these kind of hands very strong, but he's also a thoughtful player. Well, he's thought himself out of that pot, Vicky, and if he'd raised on the flop, he would have found out where he was.
I'm actually very surprised by that pass. I don't know what he's putting Olliott on. Of course, it's possible that the British captain had a big pair before the flop, but he's the kind of man who would bet with or without the best hand, and I'm surprised Hollink wasn't tempted to try harder to find out. Welcome back to the fourth heat of the PartyPoker Poker Nations Cup. The price of poker just went up Blinds now $150 and $300, which is bad news for Martin Vallo of Denmark. He's only got 5 big blinds. Meanwhile, Rob Hollink of Holland has been raising a lot of hands.
Raised to 900.
Well, he's been absolutely relentless. From any position, he's capable of raising with any hand. Great chip getter, Rob Hollink.
Pass.
Martin Vallo of Denmark. Hard to keep people honest with a weak hand, but that is not one.
3 raises, all in.
He's found his moment.
Well, I like the fact that he didn't sit and think about it. He didn't try and be too cute.
1450 is the total.
Guess we're going to see the shit, you ready?
Wondering if he's up against whether he has 2 live cards. Asked for accounts.
1450.
And I think he has to call because it's only about another 500.
That's right, Rob Hollink has got to call and show the funny hand he raised with. But Vallo has got to reckon it's his moment to double up.
This is everything for Vallo and the Danish team. He's going to get them right back into the action.
Well, that flop is very safe. Only running cards would take it away from Denmark at this point. Nope. Holland drawing dead and a desperately needed double up for the Danish team. Relief for Martin Vallo and his captain, Theo Jørgensen.
Well, sometimes when you raise with these funny little hands, the last thing you want is to be re-raised by someone who's got so few chips that you're forced to call and show what you've been up to.
I don't like that one. You might have come over the top of me with nothing on that.
Very perilous times for Martin Vallo of Denmark. His last free round of cards is beginning. He can't afford to let those blinds go through him.
Pass. Pass. Raise to 1000.
Elliott, meanwhile, tossing in the raise. Once again, he has to get through the orange wall that is Rob Hollink of Holland.
Rob Hollink with a pair of threes is going to give Dave Elliott some action.
All in. What a fantastic move from Hollink.
Powerful, powerful play. If you're going to play against a button raiser who raises as frequently as Dave Elliott with a small pair like this, you don't want to call out of position. Easy decision for Callum with a pair of 2s.
This is horrible for Elliott. He's raised with a perfectly nice hand and the man's come back for all his chips.
44 and 44, I think.
44.25.
No, it's 25 out. There's not too many hands you do that with that I'm worried about, actually. 2 7s, 2 6s I like, 2 5s I like.
It's a very, very marginal situation. He knows that Rob Hollink knows that he's at it a lot, raising on the blinds. Rob Hollink doesn't have to put him on nearly a bigger hand as he's got.
I call.
Oh,
wow.
Good call.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, Elliott talked it through out loud. He said, if you've got a small pair, I like it. He decided that was the situation, made the call, and now he's got a lot of chances to knock out his most dangerous opponent at the table.
Well, these two were always likely to get into a big pot. And Dave Elliott figured it out, made a great call. Still has to hit, though. Oh, what a flop for Elliott.
Any club now working for Elliott. Any ace, any 10, any 8. Most of the deck is working for him. And there's the flush.
The flush for Great Britain.
The
river card. It's a 7.
As it is, after a phenomenal performance, the Dutchman is out with only 2 points.
Well, Rob Hollink, he came in, he played a very strong game, he raised relentlessly, and he played that hand very, very strong, and Dave Elliott has got rid of perhaps his most dangerous opponent.
I figured he had a low pair there.
He made a raise on the button, and I think a pair of threes is enough to put it all in. We like 50-50, and okay, he could lay down the hand. In that case, I would have made a good move, and when he calls, then it's even money. So I think I did nothing wrong, and I was just unlucky. Of course, Devilfish is the favorite. I mean, he's chip leader, and he might be the best player. He could win it, I think.
So we are four-handed. The next team to be eliminated is going to collect 4 points for their country. And Martin Vallo of Denmark must be pretty relieved that he wasn't in the first two exits. It looked that way. But it's Roland Specht of Germany who's raising on the button.
Raise all in.
That's it. Vallo's stuck him in.
Call.
And Dave Elliott feels priced in as well. Horrible for Vallo. He's nearly dead against Specht. And it's like that these other two players will check unless they have very big hands.
Well, Specht does have top pair with the ace kicker.
I would check a big hand here because I don't want to. I don't use. I'm not allowed to say anything.
Now, Dave Elliott is being a bit cheeky here.
Yeah.
He's actually telling Specht that they ought to check here. And the tournament director, Thomas Kremser, might want to have a word about that.
And that's actually helped Specht to make this bet. Naughty, naughty, Dave.
I didn't have a big hand.
Denmark got in.
Well, this is absolutely horrible for Roland Specht.
Germany
All
shows
in,
ace-10,
only
ace-8.
running,
No,
straightening
it's the hand.
cards are going to save Denmark now. 8-8,
Seven would be a pretty
6-7.
Let's see the turn.
A miracle like that would help him.
8. Pair of 8 for Denmark.
Another 8
Let's see
is
the
the
card.
only card that can help Martin. Hello, there it is!
That is an absolute miracle.
What an incredible card.
Hey, what do you think, guys? In the
They're screaming
what do
right
you
now.
what do you think, Team Denmark? Am I good or?
Amazing third snowman, and it's Christmas in Denmark.
And I I had 7-2, 7-2. Yes,
Yeah.
The Kings are gonna.
The Poker Nations Cup slipping back towards the grasp of America,
I'm pretty sad.
currently lying second in this heat, thanks to a great display from Cloney Gowan.
Don't do it.
Great raising hand with only the blinds behind her.
Roland Specht surely is going to take a stand with this hand, Vicky. I would expect an over-the-top move.
He's got to. Cloney Gowan has put in a lot of raises. The time has come to keep her honest.
I'm counting.
Are you counting?
Yeah. Because
Specht is just trying to work out whether he can afford to call 1,000 more, leaving himself only 3,500. He can't. It's an all-in raise.
Weißt du was, Freund?
overcall.
Jetzt habe ich ein schlechter Feeling. I'll translate that if you want. Yeah, yeah.
Well, Vallo was saying he had a good feeling, but unfortunately he's looked down to find 8-3, and it's in the muck.
Is that right?
Gowan asking for a count. It's about 3,000 more to her, 3,500. She has the benefit of knowing Specht is a tight player.
She's seen Dave Elliott make a very similar call and be correct. But she knows, as you say, she's up against a very, very different opponent in Roland Specht.
I'm sure I made worse. I made worse.
She's come here to play to win.
We only show the bad ones on TV. You want to be on TV?
This decision right on the line. A few hundred less she'd have called already. A few hundred more she'd have passed already.
I'm only making a slightly worse call than, well, you didn't really make a bad call, but if I'm wrong, only slightly worse than.
Which call, mine? I said he had a small pair and I called.
Yeah,
This is the very definition of a marginal decision in every single way. chip count, size of the kicker, the chip position, the amount of chips that her team has in the tournament, all these things going through her head,
Call.
strength of her opponent. But yes, it was always going to be a call.
I am dominated. I was hoping for a small pair.
Yeah, Cloney Gowan is looking now for nines and diamonds to knock out the German Roland Specht. Otherwise, he will double up and take second place.
Flop comes 2 and queen with 2 spades. Very good flop for you, bro. German in
King
front.
now would give Roland Specht a straight. Any spade would give him a flush. There is the straight. And a jack would split the pot, but otherwise
And the 4.
a flush and a straight for Germany, and he had the best hand. It's allowed him to double up.
That you had more aces. Okay.
4 players left in this heat of the PartyPoker Poker Nations Cup. Martin Vallo in the big blind now, which is 600. A fifth of his whole stack is in the pot before he even looks at his cards. Cloney Gowan has picked on Vallo's big blind before now.
Yeah, she's been doing a lot of attacking from the button.
Raised to 1800.
She's a fighter. So is this man.
Well, Roland Specht has been showing a lot of respect for Gowan. He's passed quite a few strong hands against her.
Now might be the time he doesn't have to worry too much about Vallo behind him. He's made some very well-timed re-raises. He knows that Cloney Gowan last time found him with an ace-jack suited.
Raises all in.
Yeah.
Well, that is a very, very good move from Roland Specht of Germany. He recognises that Gowan could have been trying to pick on Vallo's big blind with a wide range of hands. He thinks his pair could be good, and now all Vallo has to decide is, does he have a hand to try and treble up with?
Against one raiser, I think he would have made a stand. Against the re-raiser, King High doesn't look so hot. And Cloney Gowan has asked for a count. But surely this time she's going to throw this one away, Vicky.
Yeah, Specht has got her covered, so it would be an all-in call. This is not the result Gowan wanted. She wanted to nick the big blind off Vallo. Instead, a bigger stack than hers is raised. She's got to give it up. And Specht may play a little tougher against the American from now on.
Situation desperate for Cloney Gowan now, because even if they pass round to her and she moves in from the small blind, she will be called by Roland Specht, who already has 800 in.
Pass. Pass.
Now, Cloney Gowan doesn't have enough chips to make anyone pass. But with that hand, she's very happy for him to take him on, as he must do, given the chips.
Anyway. 800 more, yeah? Yes.
It was an automatic call by Specht, and it's just a matter of whether the ace-queen stand up.
Queen of spades. Germany showing check 5.
Yeah, Specht couldn't pass for only 800 more. And now it's fingers crossed for Team America as the 5-card flop comes down. No jack, no 5.
Flop comes 9, 10, 6. Ace queen in the lead. Turn card.
Safe so far.
7.
Well, an 8 now would give Roland Specht a straight, an 8, a jack, or a 5 would knock out America. It is the straight. What a horrible way for it to happen.
I know that 8 was going to go off.
There's a straight on board, but the jack in Specht's hand makes a bigger one, and a valiant performance from Cloney Gowan is not enough to get more than 4 points for the US team.
I knew that if I was in position, I was probably going to raise and take a shot. I wasn't going to sit back and do anything. And then I lose the hand, the ace-9 hand. And that was just strictly, I think, it's probably the math wasn't quite there, but I had him covered. You know, I think there was 2,800 in the pot. It cost me 34 to call. Very rarely am I going to fold to a minimum re-raise, and it was just a little bit more. And if he has a small pair, I'm not that big of a dog. So, you know, that was a key hand for me. I need to win that pot, obviously, and he has the ace-jack. And as you can see after that, then I struggled.
The amazing thing is that three-handed Dave Elliott for Great Britain is guaranteed to have at least 50 points because 7 will go to the next player knocked out. So Britain soaring ahead of the pack. Roland Specht of Germany, his nearest opponent, to raise it up with this ace-10.
All in.
Raise all in.
Well, that's nice. He doesn't want to give Elliott the chance to take it away from him with a robust defence of the big blind. But Martin Vallow's called. With a pair of sixes, Elliott can get easily out of the way without a premium hand.
Dave Elliott having a little bit of that.
Two fives and ace-jack. That's my educated. Oh, no, sorry. 2 6s and ace-jack. That's my little guess.
Yes, ace-jack. Bad news
And
for
the
me.
race
For
is
Denmark.
on.
Calling only ace-10.
If Martin Vallow's hand can hold up for Denmark,
Look at that. Reverse it around. Ace-10.
then he will be in good shape. But if an ace or a 10 comes down, we'll be losing another nation.
Well, Specht didn't want to leave Dave Elliott any chance of coming over the top of him with that hand. Left himself with no decisions.
Sixes in front.
It's a good flop for Denmark.
It's a 4.
A 3 now would give Roland Specht a straight. Ace, 2 or 3. But no, double up for Denmark, and they will be cheering that in the Danish corner of the green room.
Well, what a great survivor this man has turned out to be. He's let himself get so low so often, and he's still in here. Now he's got his second in chips, Vicky.
Welcome back to the fourth heat of the PartyPoker Poker Nations Cup. Martin Vallow, the short stack, is going to be first to make a decision with the button. And he's bet. Oh.
This is Dave Elliott's chance.
That much. 4,700.
I'm all in.
Yep, he's got a shot to take Vallow out of this tournament. Well covered in chips, much better hand. Oh, but Specht.
What is Specht supposed to do here? This would normally be a huge hand three-way, but he's already looking at a raise and an all-in re-raise.
And crucially, if Specht ducks out of this, he knows there's a good chance he could get to the heads up.
Yeah, I mean, we know that Vallow might well pass the hand that he's got, but Specht has to figure that a call could see a free 4-point gain for Germany.
Specht is looking at a possible opportunity to win this heat or duck out and go to the heads up should Vallow call and lose. That's the option he's going for.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Give them cash back.
And Specht is horrified to see Vallow pass. I mean, as you say, a factor in his thinking would have been that if the Dane is knocked out, that's an immediate extra 4 points for Germany.
He had the best hand.
Dave Elliott correctly identifies that the winning hand before the flop was that of Roland Specht, but he passed it.
Before you saw the camera? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh baby.
Pass.
I'm all in.
And Dave Elliott is all in.
Oh yeah, look it.
All in with a pair of sixes. It's a big move, and Specht
Call.
is calling
Oh, we got
with
a
ace
pair
jack.
over here.
Well, this is amazing. If the two sixes stand up, then Denmark will have survived into second place from nowhere and will be losing Germany.
Up comes
Oh,
10,
baby doll.
7,
That's not a bad
deuce.
one.
Not yet, and no heart.
Let's see the turn.
Deuce it, baby. Deuce.
King on
A
turn.
queen now would give Specht a straight, an ace, a jack or a queen, but he's missed it. Germany goes out with the 7 points, and the amazing survival of Martin Vallo, who's had almost no chips from the very beginning, is now coming at least second.
In the moment we were four-handed and two low stacks, and Dave and me maybe double up the opponents. The idea was to come to get heads up with Dave, but okay, back to the one hand with the 8, maybe it was the key hand of the whole tournament for me.
Amazingly, we go into the heads up with Britain and Denmark, which means that Martin Vallo, guaranteed at least 11 points, has helped Denmark to overtake Holland in the overall leaderboard.
Trying to set a trap here.
Let's have a flop. That's my boy, Jack. I mean, just for the name of poker, you know. Just for the hell of it.
Well, Dave Elliott certainly wouldn't have got called had he moved all in.
Oh, now that is a flop on which Vallo might move. Pair and a straight draw.
I'm all in.
Yeah.
He's done it. Elliott calls.
Denmark.
3, a 4 or a 5 would double up Denmark.
Pair fours.
Or 3. Oh, baby, the queen's not bad.
3 queens now. Only the 5 is going to help Denmark. 5 for a straight. Or no, it's an incredible third win for Great Britain.
3 wins, 1 second place. It's absolutely extraordinary how far ahead the reigning champions are. And Dave Elliott, he's played a real captain's role tonight.
If I look back from the beginning of the game where I got short stacked immediately, then I think it's a very good performance, and I'm very happy for played my short stack like this. It's hard. It's a team game, so I had to make sure I finished in the first 3. So I was playing a little bit steady when this 4 ended because one guy was on a short stack, and he had a miracle to stay in 8-8. Otherwise, we would have been down to 3 a lot quicker. And I wanted to get at least 7 points. I wasn't under pressure at all. Actually, it was cool. I always fancied it.
So Great Britain picks up another 16 points. Valiant survival garners 11 points for Denmark, and this time it was Sweden who went out with just 1. Looking at the overall leaderboard, it is a massive lead for Great Britain with 59. Sweden in second place with 30. Germany and Denmark have improved their positions, but the United States still in last place with 12. Will no one challenge the mighty British? Good night.
Two months at sea and looking to put into port. It's the Velex 5 Oceans Ultimate Solo Challenge on Channel 4 next.